evening, everybody, from Joe Louis Arena in Detroit. It's Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals as the Detroit Red Wings host the New Jersey Devils. Kenny Albert along with Gary Crane. Gary, the Red Wings have not won the Stanley Cup since 1955, 40 years ago, but they have to be considered the favorites, having won the President's Trophy.
Oh, wait, bring it on! Let me on, Devils! 40 year end, baby! Let's go, Devils! Let's go, Devils!
It appears time is running out on the Devils' 1993-94 season. Facing playoff elimination here in Game 7, they trail the New York Rangers 1-0 here in the third period.
On the draw. Messier reaching. Dumped it behind the net. Buchabon trying to clear. Stepping up driver. Robber is on. He's set. Leo shots off. They score! The Devils have tied the game!
We're headed for overtime in Game 7.
Brought in by Niedermeyer. The Devils step on. Reshooting. Rebound is loose side of the net.
I think we worked so hard to be so close, to be the best team.
Feastoff went off the leg, stays in the Devils zone. Metco goes for the puck. Metco around the net. Metco puts it. Score! Score! The Rangers win! The Rangers win! They're going to the finals! The Rangers win!
We were going so well that we didn't want to stop it, just want to keep on going, and that goal just ended everything.
One series, a classic.
I took that pretty tough because I felt that we had a great chance to win, and I think we played really well that series. And it's like when there's a dream, you're dreaming, and it ends. It's always, it's tough.
I can tell you, all summer, every day, in my mind, I have that flash all the time,
I didn't even want to talk about that. To me, what the experience that you get from past years, I think every player has to keep it for himself and build on it. Not talking about how we lost or things like that. I don't think it's good.
As the 1994-95 season began, the Devils carried with them the bitter memories of their heartbreaking loss to the Rangers. But this tough and talented cast remained intact for another run at the Cup. And Coach Jacques Lemaire hadn't lost faith in his disciplined, defense-oriented approach.
When I brought that system to the players, there's always players that say, hey, what are we doing here? And guys would say, well, we're standing still and, we're not on the move and that and this and that. And I think every system is good when the players believe in it, the players will try to do it at their best. And hey, if we all do this, we can beat them.
Early in the season, they executed their system to perfection. The Devils combined tenacious defense with timely goal scoring. And symbolizing the team's hard-nosed style was the crash line, which was on a collision course with opponents.
Center ice pass to McKay. One man back. McKay righty. Scored! The Crashers have done it again, and this time it's McKay.
But as the year wore on, it was the Devils who came crashing to earth. Hard hit by injuries and suffering breakdowns in their vaunted system, New Jersey fell to 9th place in the NHL. At the season's halfway point, they reached rock bottom and relived a familiar nightmare, losing to their nemesis, the Rangers.
It is in! A save, the rebound! In front, score! Steve Larmer! What a play!
The season that began with so much promise seemed to be crumbling before their eyes. The road to the Stanley Cup appeared blocked at the same place it had ended last year. The Rangers had gone on to win hockey's biggest prize, with the Devils once again taking a back seat to their next-door neighbors. New Jersey appeared to be heading down a dark and all too familiar path.
Quickest road from Manhattan to the Meadowlands, the Lincoln Tunnel. That's hardly been a tunnel of love for this franchise. It can legitimize...
Let's go, Rangers!
But ever so steadily, the Devils have emerged from the Islanders and Rangers' shadow.
The Devils have only gotten better and better the last 5 years, so that rivalry's increased.
And as the rivalry grew, fans began turning in New Jersey's direction.
I switched from the Islanders to our home team. We got a Jersey team now, so no sense in going with the New York team any longer.
But while the Devils had gained support and respect, they'd yet to reach their final destination. The Devils' season was now at a crossroads, but there was light at the end of this tunnel.
Thursday night, and here come the New Jersey Devils, led by Martin Brodeur, Chris Terreri, and there is Bruce Driver.
What happened was we became healthy at a certain point, and I think the cohesiveness of the type of team we have and the character came together at the right time, and we really picked up.
Weathering the storm of injuries, the Devils finally began to gel and run on all cylinders.
The thing is, a team, you have to get every individual to play at their best.
You need everyone to chip in to be successful.
Nini's got a breakaway. Kevin Nini, look, shoot, save, Terreri, and he hangs on.
It took us a long time this year, but we finally got to the point where everyone believes in each other and everyone plays for one thing, and that is to win and for the team.
I live my life like there's no tomorrow.
Here's Lemieux, across,
He start on me to beg or borrow.
on the line, Driver, beyond the leaping Stevens, made a shot and a save made by Brodeur.
We don't have any superstar, we don't have any Fedorov, Eisenman, or Lindros, or whatever it is. We have to show up, everybody together. We have to play well defensively. Everybody have to finish their check. So we have no choice to play that way because we don't have any superstar.
Along for Francis, pass in front, oh, and a save by Brodeur on Yager. Zone of Bobby Holinko moves in, fired, score! Now Kocharsky leads it ahead, moving in a free save, score! Driver, a shot, score! Bruce Driver, fires, score! Bill Garrett moving in. He's got Holinko with him. He scores! Rizzo, score! Up with it is Chorsky. Across for shot. Score!
Historic Boston Garden was the first stop on the Devils' playoff trail, and history was weighing heavily against them. New Jersey was trying to become the first team in 28 years to capture the Cup without having home ice advantage.
Come on, boys, come on, boys.
The Bruins were a team looking to recapture their past glory. The Devils were out to prove they were the team of the future. The second season had arrived with full force, bringing with it the fierce intensity of playoff hockey. The Bruins sent bodies and goalposts flying, but the Devils would draw first blood.
Score!
Oh, what a shot that was!
Breaking! Score!
What a breakout this was for the Devils out of their zone.
And they never looked back.
We had difficulties to win on the road this year throughout the regular season. We didn't really play, solid hockey. Now it's the opposite. We're very focused. We just stick to the basic and we play our style, and it pays off.
Their style had paid off with a shutout in Game 1, and they carried their same methodical battle plan into Game 2. Playing their patented brand of stifling defense, the Devils clamped down on the Bruins, stopping them at every turn.
Good pass, Stemple, shot, blocked wide by Driver. Big play, Driver.
Saving all 23 Boston shots was the brilliant Martin Brodeur. The Devils had never achieved a playoff shutout on the road. Now Brodeur had given them 2 in a row.
It felt unbelievable. I think, our team played really well in the first 2 games I had there, and we shut them out twice, and it was just, you feel invincible. You're out there and you say, well, if they get it, it's going to be a lucky goal or something.
The Bruins broke through to win Game 3. But in Game 4, they were facing Martin Brodeur at his best.
I think Marty is like Patrick Roy was from Montreal, and his confidence right now is so high, and we're not worried sometimes to give a 2-on-1 or 3-on-2 because we believe he's going to make a big save.
The Devils needed him to come up big as Game 4 became a tense and emotional struggle. Scoreless after regulation, they battled into overtime, neither team giving ground, each searching desperately for just one break. The Devils found a tiny crack that opened the door to an electrifying victory. With their 3rd shutout of the series, they were on the verge of closing out the Bruins. For Game 5, the venue shifted back to Boston, but New Jersey made certain the momentum would not. The relentless Devils broke a 1-1 tie in the second period and held on the rest of the way. Their 3-2 victory closed the curtain for good on hallowed Boston Garden. But New Jersey's sensational roadshow was just beginning. In the conference semifinals, the underdog Devils were poised to spring another upset against Pittsburgh.
Here comes Claude Lemieux moving in. Back in score! Claude Lemieux has tied the game.
But on this night, New Jersey would see its goal-scoring well run dry.
The thing is, you get the chances, you don't score because we're making all these different mistakes.
With a late goal from Luc Robitaille, the Devils' playoff drive came to a sudden halt.
Penguins have won the game.
We came out, we lost the first one in the last minute, I think. And I think after that, we just played really well. We just, we're unbeatable.
The wing comes Claude Lemieux, and he's in. Lemieux scores! Claude Lemieux! 2-1 in favor of the Devils, and Lemieux has done it again.
But dreams of the Cup were disrupted by a nightmare as the Penguins tied Game 2 with a minute left.
The backhander! Oh,
The fluke goal off of Tommy Albeline's skate could have demoralized the Devils. But Captain Scott Stevens would dramatically and single-handedly lift his team to victory.
Blocked off by Reagan. Stevens again, crosses, score! Scott Stevens on a backhander! Got his own rebound. 3-2 in favor of New Jersey.
Returning home, New Jersey would administer a crash course to the beleaguered Penguins.
Rebound, score! Randy McKay! Randy McKay to Hooley, score! Bobby Hooley!
If you're trying to find one guy that didn't do a good job today, I don't think you'll find one.
Their 5-1 win in Game 3 epitomized New Jersey's teamwork as 5 different Devils scored goals. They looked to punish the Penguins again in Game 4, but this time found goals much more difficult to come by. The teams were locked in a defensive struggle until New Jersey broke the ice. They had scored first for the 9th time in 9 playoff games, but the lead was short-lived.
close to being decided, but it could be in a split second. McLean moving back out. He's got Niedermeyer on the trailer. McLean moving around behind the net. Has Ralston there. Swung it in front. Score! It's over!
Trailing 3 games to 1, the Penguins ran into the Stonewall named Brodeur, whose goaltending brilliance sparked his team at the other end.
Now a big shot by Chambers. He scores! Sean Chambers! And the Devils are headed to Philadelphia.
In Philadelphia, home of the Flyers' notorious Legion of Doom, the Eastern Conference Finals didn't just start, they erupted. After an early exchange of pleasantries, the two teams settled into their own unique brand of finesse hockey.
You know, after the first minute, you get a hit or been hit, and then you're into it, and it's just focusing in on the game. I mean, you have fun with it, and that's what it's all about.
Right from the start, the Flyers drove home the message that this was to be a knockdown, drag-out series. But nothing seemed to faze the resilient Devils, who took all of Philadelphia's best shots and then delivered some of their own.
Carrion moves in right by Hextall. Hextall trying to find it, didn't shot. Score! Billy Gillen out in front, and it's 1-0 Devils.
New Jersey blasted a barrage of shots against Ron Hextall and cashed in on their chances. The Devils were flying high, while at the other end, Brodeur, as usual, was standing tall.
Shot, tip, save made Brodeur. Shot, save Brodeur. It's Brodeur against the wall.
Once again, making themselves at home on the road, the Devils skated away with Game 1, leaving the Spectrum in stunned silence. But Coach Jacques Lemaire knew full well that while New Jersey had gained the upper hand, that also awakened a sleeping giant. Sticking to their patient, disciplined style in Game 2, New Jersey also was determined to stand up to the Legion of Doom. But the NHL's most valuable player, Eric Lindros, finally broke loose. However, no sooner had they taken the lead than the Devils answered back. Then, with a score tied at 2, Bruce Driver rose to the occasion. His stop on defense led to a counter-punch on offense that became the turning point of the game. Up 2 games to none, the confident Devils swaggered out of the Spectrum and headed home, where they were in for a rude awakening.
I have to say that we were a little too confident. You know, you just go home and say, well, maybe I can relax a bit, or, you know, for sure we'll beat them, and I don't have to pay the price like I did in the first 2 games.
The only people cheering are Flyers fans, obviously.
You know, we realized we just kind of fell back on our heels too much, and then the momentum kind of shifted in their way a little bit.
Momentum is now solidly with the Flyers in this series.
It was tough. I mean, you go up there and you work so hard to win 2 games in their building and have home ice, and they come and take it away. So it was a little depressing.
For the first time in this series, the Devils have tried to play Flyers hockey. The Flyers have not been forced to play Devils hockey.
After those 2 games, I think it was pretty tough. I think we had our backs against the wall. You know, I think we had to win that Game 5.
Harsh reality and a sense of urgency faced the Devils as they returned to Philadelphia for the pivotal Game 5. The Flyers and their fans were ready and waiting with their game faces on, while the Devils pointed toward their most crucial game of the season. With the series now hanging in the balance, every trip down ice was critical. Every penalty was one that could turn the tide. And every check was delivered with extra passion. In this grueling battle of wills, it was the Devils who struck first. But the Flyers responded to the challenge, beating Brodeur and whipping their crowd into a frenzy. Game 5 had turned into an epic struggle, with neither team giving an inch. And as the game entered its decisive moments, tied at 2, it was hard-hitting, tight-checking, all-out war. One that seemed destined to go into overtime.
Tied at 2 with 58.9 seconds to go here in the third period. A lot of whistles rolled around near.
But there was still enough time for one more dramatic twist. And it would be supplied by New Jersey's playoff hero, Claude Lemieux.
Lemieux with a shot, he scores! Claude Lemieux with a drive!
Hey, that lady's got the look on her face that says it all, doesn't it? Oh, my.
Heading home to New Jersey, they'd taken command of the series.
Here's Lindros. He's almost done, but he's going to be finished tonight. And then Hextall, he's a hamburger the whole time there. It's over with. And then bye-bye Flyers.
While their hungry fans were filled with confidence, the Devils had learned their lesson from Game 3 and were taking nothing for granted. Determined to avoid a return trip to the Spectrum, they dismantled the Flyers at both ends of the ice. In Game 6, New Jersey would seal Philadelphia's doom, leaving them bewildered and bedeviled, and leaving a trail of battered Flyers on the Meadowlands ice. New Jersey scored 4 unanswered goals, and when it came time for a knockout punch, it came once again from the stick of Claude Lemieux. Winning the game and the series 4-2, the Devils would finally get their chance to play for the Cup.
For the first time in the Devils' franchise history, they'll go to the Stanley Cup Finals.
This is not a game for those who aren't brave. This is not a game if you don't think the Stanley Cup is the most important thing in your life.
Just where will the Stanley Cup rest?
For me, it would be just, it would be unbelievable. You know, I think that's my dream, and it's everyone's dream to win the Stanley Cup. And, you know, I'm pretty fortunate that in my first 2 years I've been to a conference final and now to a Stanley Cup final. And it could never happen again. You never know what's going to happen in the future. And I think now we got a chance, and I just want to make the best out of it because, like I said, maybe it won't happen again, have those kind of chance.
It's always a dream, and you know, right now I'm 500, so I would love to to have another rink and go back home, and it will be like a great year for me, and I don't know, it's always a dream from everybody, so and it will be great for the people in New Jersey. I think the people deserve that.
Well, I mean, it would just be incredible. You know, it's something you dream of your whole life to get an opportunity to win it, and now to be in the Stanley Cup Finals and with the team that I started out with my pro career with, and something that I've always said I'd like the opportunity to do. It would just be a real special feeling.
Every season is very painful to watch somebody else enjoy and everything that it means to a hockey player, and maybe a little more to a French Canadian kid that that grew up dreaming about the Stanley Cup and nothing else. We didn't really have the basketball or baseball wasn't much, so it means a lot for me, and I know that I may not have another chance to be here. Even though that I do believe we have a great team and we'll be back next year, but you have to take it when it's there, and it would mean the world to me.
It'd be unbelievable. You dream about it all the time. We're getting closer, but it's still a ways away. We still have a lot of work, but it's the ultimate. I mean, that's what you play hockey for. I mean, you can talk about Canada Cups, World Championships. The Stanley Cup's the most important trophy, and it'd be an honor to have your name on there and to be able to hold that thing over your head.
One of the many keys to the Devils' success was their bus driver, Heinz Ruthemon. The Devils were 9-0 when Heinz drove the team bus on the road in the playoffs. And like the team, Heinz refused to let anything stand in his way.
As a whole, they are well behaved. The usual complaints we get is from Claude Lemieux, and it deals basically with it's too cold or it's too hot, mostly too hot for him. So we have to adjust to that.
He's got to be on top, you know, this is the finals, so it can't be too cold, can't be too hot. Music's got to be perfect, and that's just the way it is.
I do go on the road with the Devils, hopefully for the reason that they feel at home when they see me at the different cities they play in.
We're used to this guy. He's great. He loves the game. He loves the players, and he's a good person. So it's kind of nice to we feel like we're home when we got Heinz around us.
It's the oldest professional sports trophy in North America, dating
Stanley Cup! Stanley Cup!
Good evening, everybody, from Joe Louis Arena in Detroit. It's Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals. Devils' first ever trip to the finals, but these two teams certainly deserve to be here. The Devils 12-4, and they have done it without home ice advantage in any series.
Wings и New Jersey Devils.
Are they out yet? The other two not yet? Come on, boys! Come on, boys!
They've been great offensively, great defensively.
Aktiver Eishockeyspiel findet hier statt, in Detroit, die Joe Louis Arena.
The Red Wings had gone 40 years without drinking from the cup, while the Devils were thirsting for their first championship.
Well, both teams are going to provide unique opposition. They've never played each other for over 15 months.
And as they hit the ice for Game 1, these unfamiliar rivals wasted little time getting reacquainted. While the Devils tested Mike Vernon, the Red Wings cranked up their offensive machine and came within inches of taking an early lead. As they watched other scoring chances turned away, the heavily favored Red Wings grew apprehensive. It was clear they were facing a challenge unlike any they had faced before.
Back first period, fast pace.
Detroit very early sending a message to the Devils that this is not going to be a walkover.
Picking up to Stevens, he's got Palumbo and fires, and it's a shot by Chambers that's saved by Vernon. Eiserman turning it over.
Late in the first period, Detroit had yet another golden opportunity, but still could not find a way to beat Brodeur. New Jersey's defense had withstood the initial flurry, and as they skated off the ice with a scoreless tie, the Devils had exhibited the poise and seasoning of a playoff-tested team.
Most of these players were there last year when we took the Rangers to a 7-game, and so many exciting series last year, all kinds of situations. I think the younger players learned quite a bit just in the one season, and you really play for the whole season is to try to win it all.
With their minds focused on the ultimate goal and their bodies doing the rest, the Devils began to assert themselves in period 2. And it didn't hurt to have some help from a friendly goal post. And the Red Wings' anguish would only grow deeper.
Draper gets a penalty. Devils get their second power play, their first power play.
This time, the Devils seized on their advantage as a blistering shot by Stéphane Richer found its mark.
I mean, I don't think that was a great, beautiful goal, but I think that was a big goal for us at the time, take the lead in Game 1.
Aiming to build on their lead, the Devils now swarmed around Vernon and the stunned Red Wings. And when Detroit forward Bob Eric coughed up the puck in his own end, the pressure appeared to have paid off. The Red Wings anxiously awaited the verdict, knowing a 2-0 deficit could prove to be insurmountable.
Make you believe that it had to hit the goalpost. The way the fans are now responding here has been waved off, and Bob Airy may be the happiest guy in the world.
Detroit had received a much-needed reprieve, and they would make the most of it. The revitalized Red Wings finally watched the puck bounce their way and onto the stick of Pino Cicerelli. The game was tied at 1, but the Devils quickly tried to put the setback behind them.
I just don't want to think about that. I want to keep my mind on one period. I want to keep my mind on one shift. That's what I want to do.
They carried their single-minded intensity into the third period. And once again, Claude Lemieux was in the right place at the right time.
Score! Claude Lemieux!
Having battled long and hard to earn the lead, the Devils were determined not to relinquish it. While the Red Wings suffered yet another painful blow when star Keith Primeau was sidelined with an injured back. New Jersey could now taste victory. And as the third period ticked away, the Devils leaned on the foundation of their success: defense. Over the next 8 minutes, they would hold the Red Wings without a shot on goal. Detroit watched the game and the home ice advantage that worked for all season begin to evaporate.
Gets away from the dive, and then again, it's thrown back off again by Chambers.
The Red Wings fought desperately for the goal that would send the game to overtime. Even when they came within striking distance, Brodeur slammed the door shut on their comeback hopes. New Jersey's remarkable goalie held off a furious charge in the final minutes, and the Devils captured Game 1. They'd taken another step towards the cup by returning to a familiar rallying cry.
I thought we did a great job playing the team concept, and that's why we won, and everyone did their job once again. But it was very exciting. It's great to get that first game under our belt. Hopefully we can improve the second game.
With the Devils having a leg up, Red Wings fans packed up their 8-legged companions, hoping for more chances to continue the slimy tradition in Game 2. And in Detroit, there's one place fans turn to for octopus: the Superior Fish Store.
How many octopus would you like today?
I think we'll take 2.
We are the official supplier, our octopi supply, for Red Wing fans. The first game of the finals, we sold 100 in about 5 hours.
I don't really care for it. It smells out there also. I mean, it's like a fish market on the ice.
First we'll cook it and get it a little rubbery so we can get a better grip on it. Probably throw her up in a nice ball and launch this from standing room.
It smells awful. It's pretty nice though when they throw it. I was kind of watching one, it was just floating, it was pretty good. But I don't like to see, just right, when they score, they throw it, so I don't like to see it. Yeah, I threw in my crease after the first goal they scored, you know. My stick went all, it was all slimy and everything. I said, oh, I'm not touching them anymore.
There is a positive outlook also besides throwing the octopus. People are recognizing it as a viable food source. So a lot of customers, besides buying them to throw, they'll take them home to have as a mascot as they watch the Red Wings, and also to have them maybe an octopus salad or some barbecued octopus to eat.
I eat calamari, that's about it.
We had a good skate today. Guys feel pretty good. We can't lose confidence in what we have done and what we can do as a team. We play well as a team. We're going to do good, and it's no time to have guys going off in different directions. Now's the time to pull together as a team. It's not insurmountable, that's for sure.
But in the other locker room, the Devils looked to fuel their growing momentum and continued turning up the heat on the Red Wings.
These guys are confident. They feel that they have a chance to win. They feel that they're going to go out and do the best they can, and that's all you can ask.
They came ready to toss their octopuses in Game 2. But Red Wing fans knew their team would first have to escape the vice-like tentacles of the Devils' defense. New Jersey had held them to a season-low 17 shots on goal in Game 1. Detroit, the league's best team during the regular season, knew it was time to earn their wings. In the early going, the Red Wings rocked the Devils and sent the unmistakable message that this game would be different. Looking to muscle their way back into the series, Detroit fired away at Brodeur, and only his spectacular saves kept them off the scoreboard. Refusing to buckle under the Red Wings' fury, the Devils responded with their own show of force. New Jersey would finally get their own attack in gear. But Mike Vernon was equal to the task. After one period, the game was a scoreless tie, but it wouldn't remain that way for long.
Put it to net, guys. I'll make them pay.
Fedorov waiting for the return and gets it. Fedorov to the line. Fedorov again. Shoots. Block. Rebound. Good. Detroit gets the goal.
Maintaining their composure as always, the Devils mapped a counterattack, spearheaded by John McClain.
McClain coming right into the goal. He scores. McClain will silence this huge crowd at the Joe Louis Arena.
It was a hard-hitting contest, but no hit was any harder than the pulverizing blow delivered by Scott Stevens.
Oh, Stevens came out of nowhere, and he went full out right into Kozlov.
Proving they would not be intimidated, the Red Wings ended the second period with a bruising punctuation mark. And early in the third, they finally seized control of the game. The series had now arrived at a critical moment. Facing an inspired Red Wing team, and in the unfamiliar position of playing from behind, the Devils never lost their confidence or their focus.
When the other team scores, guys are talking about keep playing the way we can. We can do nothing about this goal. So it seems like they're matured. When it gets a little tough, they mature.
Pressing now nearing the halfway mark of the third period. They are leading 2-1 here in game 2. Niedermeyer, what a great skating defenseman he is. Shoots, rebound, scores. What a beautiful play by Scott Niedermeyer. All the way with it, solo job. Hit the boards, got the rebound, and tied the game.
The Red Wings were left to wonder what had hit them. Just when they believed they'd turned the tide of the series, they'd seen New Jersey suddenly come roaring back. And with Game 2 now up for grabs, the Devils mounted an all-out assault in Detroit, with Brodeur holding down the fort. Tied at 2, the fierce battle moved into the final minutes, leaving time for one more team effort from the Devils.
Time, Chambers moves it in. Here's a shot for close in, and that's blocked. It comes back to the line, moving up Albaline, now Chambers. He shoots, big rebound, score! Jim Dowd, giving New Jersey a 3-2 lead.
Well, Paul Coffey blocked a real hard shot and has not got up. So the Red Wings were playing short-handed, and Dowd was all alone and slumped it into the net on the backhand.
For Paul Coffey and the Red Wings, a devastating and agonizing defeat was sealed by an empty netter from Stéphane Richer.
Moving in, he scores!
The Devils skated out of Detroit with a commanding 2-0 lead, halfway to the Stanley Cup.
Well, this is absolutely amazing right now. The New Jersey Devils are really stunning the hockey world with their continued excellent play.
It's great. I mean, everyone's a part of this team. When you're not, even the guys that aren't playing, that get in there every now and then and make the best of it. That's all you can do. I mean, we're here for one thing, is to win the Stanley Cup.
Back in New Jersey, a proud community was waiting to welcome the hero of Game 2, Jim Dowd, a homegrown Devil from Brick Township.
As far as sports, it seemed every time we played on a team, they won something. Some fellows, I really sincerely believe it, are winners. They don't have to be the star of the team, but when they're on a team, they seem to know how to win.
Jim grew up in a large sports-loving family and led his high school team to the state championship. But nothing could compare to the feeling of scoring a game-winning goal in the Stanley Cup Finals.
I was there at the game, and I was the only one there from our family. And I saw him score, and I jumped up. I jumped pretty high. And I looked around, and there was no Devils fans anywhere. And I was like, I just couldn't believe it. And I just wanted the time to go off and that be the winning goal. And it was. It was great.
But the game winner goes to Jimmy Dowd. His goal has given the Devils a 2-0 edge in the Stanley Cup Final.
And they're screaming in Brick, New Jersey, hometown of Jim Dowd.
If they go on and win the whole thing, that's like, you can look back at that and maybe think that was the back-breaking point for the Devils as far as breaking the backs of the Red Wings.
As the scene shifted to the Meadowlands, New Jersey basked in the spotlight. For the first time, a professional sports championship was being contested on the soil of the Garden State. Surrounded by a circus atmosphere, Brendan Byrne Arena took center stage, and anticipation was at a fever pitch. While the Devils of the future practiced, the fans of the present focused on just one thing.
You gotta beat Stevens, Niedermeyer, Driver, Danko, and whoever else Jersey throws at you. Now, if you happen to do that, you gotta beat the #1 rated goalie of all time. Now, it's not just unlikely, it's impossible.
Yeah, it's all Detroit got, it stinks.
Inside, Claude Lemieux went through his typical pre-game ritual. While down the hall, the Red Wings searched for any glimmer of hope.
I feel very, very confident. I love this building. I scored my first NHL goal here. So, I don't know, I'm very excited to play here.
We're definitely wounded, but, you know, when's a Tiger most dangerous? When he's wounded, I guess. So, you know, we've got to come out and be raring to go.
Number 77, defenseman Paul Coffey. And number 30, goaltender Martin Brodeur. Let's go Devils! Let's go Devils! Well, here it is, folks. Game 3 of the Stanley Cup Championship from the Meadowlands Arena in New Jersey.
Even the Great One was on hand, expecting a great game, and he would not be disappointed. Neither were Devil fans, as their team pounded Detroit early and often.
Hit in the corner. Quickly to center ice. Constantino was nailed by Stevens.
But the Red Wings fought back, delivering their own punishment, sidestepping the Devils and turning up the heat on Brodeur.
Primo coming up with it and skating to center ice. He has Steve Yzerman with him. The shot by Yzerman is blocked by Brodeur.
And he proved to be worthy of all the accolades.
Loose puck there. Oh, and Brodeur somehow grabbed it and put the puck away.
Sometimes we take him for granted, you know, we know he's back there and he's going to make the stops. You know, he comes up with the big saves at the right time. You know, when you really need to save, when it could change the game, you know, he comes up big, and that's what it's all about, and that's why he's been, you know, such a leader back there for us. A lot of times, you know, he comes up with the big saves, and we go down and score, or we, you know, or we get it's a wake-up call for ourselves to get back into it, get back on your toes, and get ready to go.
The team skated to a standstill until midway through the first period, when the Devils got their wake-up call.
McLean coming in. The pass, a neat one for front. Shot for the line, score! Driver drives it through everybody. 1-0 New Jersey.
With Octopus not on the menu, the Devils were about to devour some wings, burying Detroit under a tidal wave of offense. The frustrated Red Wings simply had no answers. Game 3 was slipping away, and everyone in the Meadowlands sensed it.
Comes in, the shot, scores! Makes it 3-0. The hole gets deeper for the Detroit Red Wings.
And deeper.
Into the line, driver shot, picked out, another one.
A shell-shocked Vernon had had enough, as his backup took his turn trying to stop the Devils' onslaught.
In center, roll to the head, Freeland center, gets a slot, 5-0 Devils.
The reeling Red Wings would add 2 meaningless goals late in the third. But Game 3 was all New Jersey, as they moved to within one victory of the ultimate triumph.
I was embarrassed, actually, and humiliated, and I told them we didn't compete, and they wanted it a lot more. There's no question about it. I told them some of them don't even need a shower. That's the way I feel. And as a coach, I felt this is the most disappointment I've ever had. And when you get to this far in the Stanley Cup Finals, this is the most embarrassment and humiliating loss that I've ever had.
We realize that we've won 3 games, but they don't give out anything for 3 games.
There's one big game, one big step ahead of us, and you know, we can't let up now. We got to go for it.
This is the last night
play. Get them while we got them. Gonna end here. Gonna end here. Program, Chip. Game 4 program. Final game program, Chip.
As game time approached, Devils fans prepared to let loose their pent-up emotions. They came from all over for this historic night.
Moved to Kentucky about 5 years ago, and my friend got tickets to the finals, so I hopped in the car yesterday morning and drove 14 hours all the way through to get here. It was a great feeling. I hope the Devils can do it tonight.
There you go, man. And 4, baby!
Now that's a dedicated fan.
Here we go, Devils. Here we go.
Detroit, see ya later. Let's go, Devils!
I've been waiting for this for my whole life.
Yeah, Devils! Sweet, sweet, sweet Devils! Go home, yeah! Devils at 4! This is what brings home the chrome.
I think I'm going to be taking this
Devils
off.
gonna rule, man!
60 minutes from the cup, the Devils prepared for their date with destiny, while the Red Wings faced their moment of truth, hoping to escape the Legion of Bruins.
It's been the same thing 3 times in a row so far. Can the Red Wings change the script? If not, the Devils will write their names on the Stanley Cup.
This has started out as a war tonight.
Well, it sure has.
Their backs to the wall, the Wings came out flying.
Come on! Pick him up!
Let's go! Keep going!
For the first time in the series, play was wide open. The Red Wings set the pace, and the Devils struggled to keep up. Unshackled, Detroit could unleash its fast-skating, high-powered attack.
They've gone end-to-end, back and forth. It has been a very exciting hockey game.
Displaying their versatility, New Jersey matched and then surpassed Detroit at their own game.
Wasn't directed in on purpose. I'm sure it will be checked upstairs on the video replay. I think it's a goal, yes. That's a great play by Broughton and a great play by Richer.
But the Wings were not about to go down quietly. They answered the challenge quickly and decisively.
Brzezinski lost his stick and a shot. They score! Detroit has tied the game. No! Fedorov wanting to get by. Backhander hit the wall. Coffey has shot and went wide. Rebound. Coffey scores!
Detroit takes the lead.
Before the period ended, the Devils struck back.
Chambers shoots. Score!
Playing perhaps their best period of the finals, Detroit had only a tie to show for their efforts. Now the Devils were ready to move in for the kill.
Let's go! Set it up, finish point!
Zeroing in on Mike Vernon, the Devils were now dominating the ice. It seemed only a matter of time before they'd also take command on the scoreboard.
The Devils with the quick transition.
And the Devils with all the momentum right now.
Aaron watched by Matizov. Got it over for Niedermeyer. Someone in front. Flip the front. Score!
With late insurance goals from Sergei Brylin and Sean Chambers, New Jersey wrapped up the game, the sweep, and the Cherry Stanley Cup, ascending to hockey heaven.
They jam away at it, and coming back with it is Brylin. Penalty time is up. Thrown to the slot. Chambers and drives. Score! goes to the captain. Then there are handoffs during a skate around the ice.
Where's Mom? Trying to get Mom.
It's an unbelievable feeling, and you know what? The great thing about it, they didn't have far to take the cup right through the Lincoln Tunnel.
I welcome you all here to the White House and congratulate the New Jersey Devils' first Stanley Cup victory in their 13-year history.
I'd like to thank you, Mr. President, for having us here. It's a great honor for myself and my teammates to be here. Like you, we've had a long, tough year, but
I hope mine comes out the way you do.
Every day, it's just, you get more and more phone calls, you think it's dying down, then all of a sudden you're going to see the president, and you're doing this and that, so I guess it's never going to sink in.
every once in a while you're driving the car and you just got to stop and think, and you can't believe it still. It's really an incredible feeling, and it's something we'll have for the rest of our lives.